Hi, it's Jeff Ondash, and welcome to Out and About. And here we are at one of my favorite places with one of my favorite men, Tim
Conway.
Tim Conway, yes, it is. Todd Hancock of Easy Street. It's been a while, and we've got a great thing coming up here. Every year you do something really great for moms in this area. Mother's Day is right around the corner.
Right.
And you always put on a really nice production over Mother's Day. But this year it's over the top.
It's
man.
special.
This is you're taking something from the past, bringing it back because it's historic for you. Yeah. It's an anniversary for you at Easy Street.
Yeah, we kind of call it we're revving up a classic because what it is the show really that started Easy Street Productions, put us on the map. Pump Boys and Dinettes was Youngstown's longest running musical, still is. I mean, if we count this weekend coming up, it's really been running.
Another week on top of it.
That's right. It's actually Easy Street's 30th anniversary, and we started bringing back Pump Boys and Dinettes every 5 years just to kind of celebrate an anniversary. We did it at our 5-year anniversary, 10, 15, 20. We did it at our 25th, and we said, you know what? It's our 30th anniversary. Let's dust off the Pump Boys and Dinettes and do it one more time. So
I'm going to caution you out there. Every year they put on a phenomenal show for Mother's Day. We've had some great shows over the years. Yeah. But this one, if you're going to want to come back and see Pump Boys and Dinettes, you're not going to want to wait around for tickets on this one. You're going to want to jump really quick. We'll get into the tickets in a little bit, but this one is going to sell out quick, and your mom is going to love this show. This is your baby, and I know you guys always put on a great production, no matter what it is. Yeah. But this one, you kind of go a little bit. This one's
special. There's something about this show, and I can't really put my finger on it. I mean, it ran for 2 years at the Uptown Theater. That was back when we took over the Uptown Theater on Market Street. It's still there, but man, it's been empty since we left back in the day. But it ran for 2 full years. That was actually longer than the original Broadway ran.
Wow.
The run of the Pump Boys and Dinettes lasted on Broadway. I think we lasted 6 months longer on Market Street in Youngstown, Ohio. So, but I mean, that tells you how popular the show was, and it really boils down to the cast. I mean, we had 6 people in the show, all of them, best friends. We're all still best friends, and just each character in the show, each role was just so perfectly suited for the people that were in the show. And Maureen Collins and myself saw this show originally out in Los Angeles when we were living out there, and I said, this show is great, and not only can I think of people that would be perfect in this show, but I bet it would run for a long time in Youngstown, Ohio.
You were like a Svengali back then, man. You kind of like just could see into the future.
That's right. But really,
talking about Cheech and Chong too, right before, man. You could see this stuff, man.
I mean, but really, it was one of those moments that I just was watching this show, and I thought, this would be a really good show for Youngstown, Ohio. So when we got back into town, we contacted our friends and put on a little musical review called 429 Miles Off Broadway. We kind of introduced people to the Pump Boys and Dinettes 30 years ago, coming up this May, and people just loved it. So we did it at the Oakland Center for the Arts, which is where we're at now. This was the original location of that. It's now the Easy Street Studio. But we ran it for 6 weeks here, and it was still selling out. And I said to myself, well, I don't know what we're going to do next, but I'm going to go down to the Vindicator. I'm going to place an ad in the Vindicator saying, thanks y'all for a great run. We'll be back. Don't know where. Well, Tom Prosser, who worked down at the Vindicator.
Wow, I remember Tom very well.
Very nice
Took care of all the entertainment ads and the restaurant ads.
So I told him, I said, listen, can you help me design this ad? I just want to kind of thanks everybody for this sellout run we just had of this show. So I told him about it, and he goes, you know what? The Uptown Theater used to do a lot of advertising with me, but they haven't for months. He goes, I think they closed. He goes, maybe you should talk to the owner of the Uptown, and maybe you can, put the show on there.
So Tom's the one that started it all.
Well, I tell you what, I left that place, and I've gone to the Uptown Theater as a kid. I think I saw E.T. there, and Jaws, and Raiders, and all that other stuff. Earthquake with Sense Around. I remember seeing that one there. But I drove by the Uptown, and it was closed, and I'm just looking at it, and I said, this reminds me of a small, off-Broadway house. And then, the light bulb just kind of went off, and I'm just like, you know what? Don Creaky, who's in the show, I can build anything. So we went in there, we tore out, 3 or 4 of the rows, we built a stage, put in the lights, we rebuilt the set, which is all this vintage diner and garage 50s stuff, with a car jacked up on stage and everything else. We put all that into the Uptown, and within a month of closing at the Oakland, we were opened again at the Uptown Theater in this new professional stock theater that we opened.
And it could seat more up there too.
Yeah. We set about. We kept the balcony for our dressing rooms and the spotlights and everything else, but there was about 275 seats on the main floor, which was more than twice the size of what we were doing it.
At the Oakland.
And it just kept selling out, and as time went on, we kept saying, well, how long can this run? And I asked the cast, I said, well, you guys, let's just run it for as long as it'll go. If people stop coming, we'll close it. And so every time I would, put on the marquee, 10 weeks and still pumping, 11 weeks and still pumping. Well, no one knew what Pump Boys and Dinettes was. It wasn't like we were doing Annie or Phantom of the Opera. No one had ever heard of it before.
But a lot of the people that were coming to the show had seen it 10 and 15.
Well, that's
had a lot of followers
that's
there
what
too.
It became, as one of those kind of cult things that kind of like Rocky Horror Picture Show or something like that, where people
I'm bringing
would go
eggs
see it.
this time, by the way.
But they would bring their friends back. And so anytime people would visit their friends in Youngstown, they would say, well, what are we going to do tonight? Well, let's go see Pump Boys again, So they would bring their friends back, and we did. We had a lot of repeat people that just
I think
kept
Jerry Dixie saw it like 947 times.
Well, that's the nice thing about Jerry Dixie, who runs Ohio Van and Truck and his auto memorabilia. He saw the show, and he actually built a storeroom in Ohio Van and Truck that resembled our set. So he put a big 50s diner in there, pinball machine, all the stuff that was on our set, he built around his showroom. And now when we go to do this show, and he's been involved for all of our reunion shows, at Powers and at the Deyor, he gives us his stuff. So I get the keys to his, this warehouse full of old neon and garage memorabilia, diner memorabilia and stuff. So when we build the set for Pump Boys, if anyone saw it, 5 years ago when we had the 25th anniversary, this set is first you walk into the Deyor, which is a nice intimate sized theater. It's kind of gives you that same feeling as when you were at the Uptown. It's not too big,
right,
like Powers Auditorium.
What does it seat?
It seats 600, but there's only 300 on the main floor and 300 in the balcony, and there's not a bad seat in there. It's all nice and tight right next to the
and
stage.
Great acoustics too.
Yeah,
it sounds
great.
Great.
It's a perfect place for this show. And when you walk in, half the stage is a diner, a 50s diner, and the other half is a garage. So there's the Pump Boys, there's the Dinettes. But everything on that stage is authentic and memorabilia from the 50s and 60s. It's like a museum. And what used to happen at the Uptown, and same thing has happened for our reunion shows, is people come, and they actually come early because there's 50s music piped in there, and people come around and they sit and they just look at the set, and they find all of these little pieces of memorabilia, and they kind of hang out for a half hour or so before the show and just talk to their friends, family, and kind of reminisce about all this stuff. And it's great. It's a fun show. There's no deep plot to it. It's about 6 friends, 4 guys, 2 girls that live off Highway 57 somewhere in North Carolina. They sing about friendship, catfish, good food, cold beer, and it's just a feel-good show. And that's the thing I think that people enjoyed the most about it, was that it was more like a party or a concert than it was like a musical theater experience. People came in, we talk right to the audience. The audience is a part of the show. At intermission, we have a raffle. We pull someone out of the audience. They win a car air freshener. You could win a car air freshener.
Wow. Worth the price of admission.
Right there. Right there. And the nice thing about it that we didn't have at the Uptown now is that Jeff Crystal runs the Overture restaurant.
And Jeff is, when they say chef extraordinaire, they're not kidding. This kid could cook anything.
Good.
Oh my
He's
God,
good.
He's a wonderful cook.
He's good, and the
chef, not a cook. He's gonna punch me.
Yeah,
he's gonna punch me. I'm getting
the
punched.
cook chef.
Yes.
I think he's earned the title of chef by now.
Asking for some hot dogs and riblets, and you'll get thrown out.
Well, it's funny because he's going to have some stuff on the menu for our weekend. That's going to have more of a little Southern flavor to it too. But the nice thing about it is he does this every year, and it's kind of been in conjunction with our Mother's Day shows, is he does a big Mother's Day buffet. So if you ever go to like Vegas and you go to those buffets where there's like a meat station and a dessert station and stuff, well, he sets up all of those stations in the Powers Auditorium lobby. So you got this beautiful setting of the Powers lobby. They've got all the tables set up in there, and then they've got all of these stations where you can get this food. And so I mean, if you want a great, perfect one-stop gift for your mom, here you can bring her to this beautiful Mother's Day buffet by Jeff Crystal right at Powers Auditorium, and then just walk right into Pump Boys and Dinettes on Mother's Day on Sunday. We got a matinee, so it's kind of a.
Now, does he do it for all 3 days or just Mother's Day?
Well, you can always get dinner before
right,
our
he's
shows.
got Overture right now.
Right, but the special Mother's Day buffet, that's on the Sunday,
okay.
on Mother's Day. But that's a special thing. You'd make reservations for that, extra from our show, or you can just come to the show. Then it's.
But you're only doing
fun.
this 3 days. One weekend, that's it.
Yeah,
no held over,
we have the opportunity. We might be able to hold it over a day or add a few performances here and there, like maybe add a Saturday matinee or something like that. But I've only got the cast for one weekend. I mean, our cast is spread out all over the country now.
Don's in Vegas.
Don Creaky's in Las Vegas. Robin Bass is down in Nashville, who, these people have, businesses and lives of their own. I have to kind of set up these reunions a couple of years in advance and hope all the planets line up that we can all be available, The sad note about this particular reunion is we lost our music director, Jeff Sanders, who was one of our original Pump Boys and Dinettes. He played the part of Eddie, and I can't tell you how sad and what a shock it was to all of us. This was back in November before our Christmas show. Yeah. And so we had to really, you can't replace a Jeff Sanders. I mean, you just can't do that. But we've got Robin's husband, Randy, is a musician. He's from Youngstown as well, but obviously down in Nashville with Robin. And it just occurred to me that, why not ask Randy to be in the show? He's a Nashville musician. He plays guitar, mandolin, banjo, all the stuff that Jeff used to play.
And he was the little brother in the Christmas Story.
Right, exactly. But no, he just was a perfect fit to step in, and it's kind of like keeping it in the family. And we're going to do a nice dedication and kind of dedicating the whole show to Jeff
nice.
Sanders. So it's going to be nice.
He'll be there. He'll be looking
Oh, yeah. He'll be there.
He'll be in the balcony throwing eggs with me.
Right. Making me screw up. Wincing every time he hears me play guitar, but no, it's fun. I can't tell you what a good time the show is, and it, if you don't walk out of there with a smile on your face, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, and seriously, when I was talking about tickets before, this isn't the traditional Mother's Day show. This is one where a lot of people are going to be buying tickets real quick because it's only a 3-day engagement.
Yeah,
so,
and it's a small space too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we're doing it in Powers Auditorium.
3 performances right now?
3 performances right
So
now.
you're
Like I said,
1,800 total tickets. That's it, unless you add.
No, yeah, and we might add. I mean, if it sells out, obviously we'd love to add some performances, but it's only going to be one weekend. There's all we can do, and we're excited to do that. Like I said, it's become a 5-year tradition for us, and God knows we're all getting old, so I don't know how much
you are.
more.
I stopped.
That's right.
I stopped at 49. I said that was it.
I don't know how many more reunions we got in us, but so you might want to check it out. This might be the last chance for gas, folks.
5 years, they might all be with walkers going down the
That's
stairs.
right. What do you mean 5 years? I'm going to be coming out in a wheelchair. We'll put some racing stripes on it. Give it a little Pump Boys theme.
Won't need the car. The car will be on wheelchair.
We'll just hear the bell go off as I roll over the little air pump thing. So it's going to be a good time, folks. I wouldn't steer you wrong. It's one of those.
And it's a great gift for your mom.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is.
It's a. You can act like it's a gift for her,
right?
But it's a good excuse
Mom,
to go out.
boy, do I got something for you this weekend? You're gonna love this.
Fun show. But it really is. This will change your mind. This is what changed a lot of people's minds about musical theater. I mean, back 30 years ago when we started this thing, there wasn't a big, huge theater audience. I mean, people didn't go down to Powers Auditorium to see a lot of musicals and things like that. And I think that Pump Boys changed a lot of things in this town. I mean, it was the first professional stock theater. It was the first time a show that had ever run for more than 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, it ran 2 years. it really raised the bar, as far as, musicals and entertainment in this town. We're so proud of it, and we still are. And if every 5 years it gives us an excuse to get my best friends together and get up on stage and have a blast, well, I'm going to do it as long as I can. So.
But it's a great performance, great food on Sunday. It's a great gift for mom. So how do people get tickets?
Well, you can go online to youngstownsymphony.com. That's the easiest way to do it. You do that 24/7. You just pick out the seats you want, get them mailed straight to you. If you want to dial up the phone. There's so many old references in the show. I mean, there's actually a rotary phone in the show, that Uncle Bob calls. I'm just like, there's so many things that date this show. But yes, you can actually pick up your phone and dial, if you can still dial, or your cell phone. The Powers box office, Deyor box office, is 330-744-0264.
Can they come down here?
I've got a very limited number of seats for friends and family, and you're not on the list.
Yeah, but you can come down here and see Tim Hitchcock himself, and he'll sign an autograph for you.
That's right. I might have a few tickets if you stop by the Easy Street Studio on your way down to Powers Auditorium. But no, the best way to do it, Powers Auditorium, the Deyor box office. It's open Monday through Friday, 10 to 3, I think, or just go online, youngstownsymphony.com. The tickets will go fast. This one will sell out.
They will. There's no kidding about that. Plus, plan on having a great dinner at Jeff Crystal's over
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
before,
I mean, dinner
or on Mother's Day.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, or the big brunch on Mother's Day, which I believe you can reserve for before the show or after the show. So,
cool.
and I'm going to be taking my mom there. I mean, it's something I do as an annual tradition every Mother's Day is that buffet. It's excellent.
That's a great thing you do. I wish I could take my mom. She's no longer with us, and if you're so lucky that your mom is, this is, you could not give her a better Mother's Day gift than what you're going to do for her. She is going to enjoy one of the greatest performances in the Youngstown area ever. She's going to enjoy some great food by chef extraordinaire Jeff Crystal, because I don't want him to punch me.
That's right.
But it really is it's a great time. But again, I impress and implore upon you, get your tickets early for this one, because 3 performances so far, unless they add another one, these things are going to go pretty quick.
And there's not a bad seat in the house, folks. If you get online and you say, oh, we're in the balcony, believe me, the balcony is only about 30 or 40 feet from the stage.
Right.
There's not a bad seat in there.
And really, Todd, I almost called you Todd.
Almost called me Todd.
Almost called
me by my right name. You can call me Jim. I got Jim on my shirt. That's my
If you've been to Deyor, this is right next to Deyor. A lot of people have not been to the new little theater. This is going to be your chance to get in there and see what a wonderful job they've done in constructing.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Powers Auditorium's 2,000 plus seats. Now this has been added on. I mean, it's been there for about 8 or 9 years, maybe even 10 years now. But it's been added on, and it's the glass part that when you drive by, down on Federal Street there, across from Home Savings, you'll see there's kind of like 2 separate looks to the building, but it's attached, it's connected. It's like I said, when you go to eat your brunch, you just walk right through the door into this new theater and into Jeff Crystal's restaurant. It's excellent.
Jeff's restaurant's in the front, and then right behind it's the theater, and it's wonderful. It's a great place to see it.
It's a perfect little venue.
One more time, give us the dates, the times, and
the
give us the
dates are
tickets.
Mother's Day weekend, which is May 11th, 12th, and 13th. We've got shows right now for Friday and Saturday at 7:30, Sunday matinee at 2:30. Tickets, you call the Deyor box office at 330-744-0264, or go online at youngstownsymphony.com. Like I said, if you want to get the reserve for dinner before the show or come to the Mother's Day buffet, you can ask them how to get reservations for that, and I'm sure they'll tell you how to get reservations for that as well.
It's a great time, and I'll as always, you're going to put on a great show.
Well, thanks.
Sure you are.
Thanks.
Well, I know the rest of the people are. I don't know.
Yeah, really,
You can count on that. 5/6 of a good show is still a good show.
That's right.
Jim,
sir.
thank you very much.
Sure.
We'll see you at Pump Boys and Dinettes in a few weeks.
Pump you up.
Treat Mom to one of the best Mother's Day presents that she will ever have. This is definitely that'll stick in her memory forever, especially his guitar playing. That's one of the things. That's going to do it for this edition of Out and About. Hope to see you there at the
Pump Boys and Dinettes, Mother's Day weekend.
See you soon. Take care.